At the beginning of the story, we see Hotel King, a luxurious hotel in South Korea, where the selection of smart interns is going on, and many participants are hopeful of getting selected there. Many people got the job, but due to tough interview, they got rejected by the hotel director. Gets rejected by Horan. And then we see our female lead Sarang that she is going for an interview when suddenly the heels of her shoes break. Embarrassed, she picked up her heels and started walking. After looking at Saran's resume, Haran feels that Saran's standards do not fit into the intern category. Because he did not have a university degree, seeing Sarang in such a condition, Haran decides to test his abilities by teaching him to play the piano without any piano. Sarang tried to make the sound of piano with his mouth and told the interviewer. He said that he also likes to play piano, but he is not a piano artist. After this, Haran asked him to smile, and Sarang gave a very sweet smile here. After giving the interview, we told Sarang to his close friends, Watch with Palin and Dulles, who have come over for a drink. Regarding the interview, Sarang says that Hotel King usually hires only those with a graduation degree. Seeing his need, his friends accompanied him to a branded shop selling luxury goods. While Pauline advises him to work, she wants to work as a flight attendant like her. She asks them to work, but Sarang refuses them, saying that she will work for him only. She wants to work in a hotel, but then a boy named Chun comes there, and he gives Jewel a chance. He invites them for a drink, but Sarang and Pauline refuse to let him go. Jewel doesn't accept his invitation, but stays in touch with him, asking for his phone number. She promises to stay. After the boy leaves, Sarang and Pauline try to convince her. She knows that she should not trust anyone so easily. Next morning, Sarang was in deep sleep when she heard the ringing of her phone. The ringing continues, and she wakes up from her sleep. On the call, she is told that she is sleeping with her. She has passed the interview and can come to work at King Hotel as an intern. Hearing this, Sarang becomes very happy and wakes up her sleeping friends and gives them the good news. Hearing this, both her friends are very happy. Friends join in her happiness and congratulate her. Finally, Sarang's hotel. The dream of working in King came true. In the next scene, we see our lead, whose name is Guo. We see him skydiving and landing on the rooftop of a building. Then he gets a call that he has landed on the wrong building, and actually he has landed on Kingland Hotel. But Gun had to land. His first day as an intern was about to start here today, as soon as he comes, he and the rest of the staff get to hear things from their seniors here. They had to reach at exactly 9:00 a.m., and their senior wanted them to reach 30 minutes earlier. The senior who arrived asked Gavin to get some documents photocopied, but he could not get the photocopies. If he does not know how to operate the machine, then he starts looking for its tutorial on his phone. After which, they see that there is something wrong with the machine, and their senior sends Sank to that cartridge. When he does so, all the ink falls on the ground, and then the manager comes and starts scolding Sang. Guan defends Sang and says that senior. He was the one who asked Sank to do this. Hearing this, Manager Gavin gets angry and asks him to clean the place. Gavin contacts Director Choi, and Choi Gavin reveals his identity to him and says that he is the son of the owner of King Hotel. Everyone is shocked to hear that he has a son. Gon saw that Manager Sang was being blamed for all these things. If he was found guilty, then he would immediately appoint him to work with him as a permanent employee. Kai offers to marry Sang, who accepts his offer. In the evening, Gon meets his dad. Gavin's dad wants him to get scolded for his poor performance on the first day of his job. He wanted to work in a hotel as an intern so that he could gain experience. He tells them that he does not want to do office work and wants to go to England to complete his studies. After that, Gavin's stepsister Horan is seen here. We see Gavin and Horan chairman. They try to behave completely normal in front of each other, but they don't like each other. The father and son advise Horan Gavin to stay in a hotel for a few days. Taking advantage of the rift, she tells him that he must return to England soon. Actually, she does not want Gun to come into the family business in any way. We will see the next day. It is Saran's first day on the job. As soon as she enters the hotel, she starts crying. She remembers the past. She remembers how she used to play this game with her mother in her childhood. She used to come to the hotel, and it has always been Sarang's dream to work here. She gets work instructions from the manager, but her senior gets jealous, seeing her beauty, feels jealous and orders her to clean the equipment in the fitness room. Sarang does her job well. We are also shown her friends who complete their tasks by following the orders of their seniors. Both of them are very hardworking. On the other hand, Song is a newcomer in the hotel where Gavan. He asks him to prepare to leave for England in a week after Song leaves. Later, the hotel manager Sumi stops him, and she misunderstands and sends Song to that hotel, KK's owner's son. Meanwhile, we see a man named Gino, who she wore a tiger print shirt, and her strange behavior attracted everyone's attention. Then a hotel employee named Boyo comes there and explains him to be polite, although no misunderstood Boyo's intentions, and gave him a letter. Boyo gave that letter to Saran. While giving it to him, he said that the person wearing tiger print shirt outside has asked me to give you this letter. Sarang read the letter, and she got upset with the man's behavior and decided to teach him a lesson. At the same time, Gavin comes to work out wearing the same clothes. Sarang gets a wrong idea after seeing Gavin. She realized that this was the same person who had given her the letter. Sarang went to him and signed it. She screams, but because she has earphones in her ears, she cannot hear anything. Sarang gets angry and increases the speed of Gavin's treadmill, due to which he falls down. Sarang scolds her for the letter and throws the letter at her and starts leaving from there. Gavin says something to her, but by then Sarang has left from there. In the meantime, Horan comes there, and she asks Gavin about going to England, and he tells her that he don't think about it because he is leaving soon. While leaving, he tells Horan he needs to fix his attitude. On the other hand, while checking into the fitness center, Horan. She called Sarang and wanted to test his ability to follow the hotel rules. The Sumi tells Horan that she hasn't told Sarang about the rules yet, because Sarang is still working as an intern, but despite this, Sarang has still done the job of Horan. Horan is impressed by the way he answers her questions so well, and Saran was selected to work in the hotel lobby during her internship period. Sarang's command over English, Chinese, and Japanese languages was also extended by 1 year. Horan was impressed by him, and the next day, Gavin left the hotel and left for England. When Horan came to her stepbrother to say bye to him, she tells him that one day she will be the owner of the entire Kingland Hotel. A few years pass like this. He continued his further studies in England, and meanwhile, Sarang continued to build her career. He even receives the Best Employee Award for marrying Dualne Chun decided, and in the meanwhile, Sarang became a permanent employee of King Hotel. We see that Gavin completed his graduation with the highest score in history. When Gavin returns home, his servant gives him a letter, which after reading the letter that came from South Korea, he decided to go back to Korea. Now what was in this letter, we will get to know later. Next day we will see Saran. While she was telling the new interns about the hotel, Sumi suddenly enters the room. And Sarang is scolded a lot. She says there that a guest needs to meet Sarang urgently. Here Sumi felt that Sarang might not have welcomed the guest properly, but as whenever Sarang meets that guest, she immediately greets him and says thank you to him, and she was doing this because Sarang had played her favorite opera music for her. He was woken up from sleep because Sarang came to know that the guest was an old opera singer, and she was very happy with this act of Sarang. After this, we see that Gavan returns to Korea and visits his dad. He tells his dad that his king's dad is happy to hear that he wants to work at the hotel, that he motivated her to compete with his stepsister at King Hotel, suggested to be heir to the property. On the other hand, Haran was not happy at all to hear this wasn't seen, because her dad has always supported Gavin Haran. Despite having a good management attitude towards the hotel, his father asked Gavin to work at King Hotel. In the meanwhile, Sarang got permission to work with her boyfriend Gunu. She is upset because of the fight, and both her friends come to fix her mood. Bring her to the playground. Deal was watching her daughter, who was at the playground. The next day, we see Gavin, who has become the head manager of the King Hotel, and he forgot his phone in his room. The receptionist sent Gavin's phone to his room. Sumi asks Sarang to bring Gavin's phone. Sarang gets Gavin's phone at the same time I started having pain, and I had to go to the washroom in emergency, but Sumi still told me to go to the washroom. Sarang insisted on bringing Gavin's phone first and went to Gavin's room, but was asked to return the phone to her. She could not bear the stomach pain and immediately found a washroom and ran there. At the same time, Gavin came to he thinks of going to the room, and as soon as he goes inside, he sees Sarang in the room and Sarang. Seeing Sarang screaming loudly after seeing him, Gavin immediately remembered the old incident, and he recognized him a few years back. Sarang had an argument with Gavin over the fact that Gavin was he is the person who gave that letter to Sarang. Gavin asked him to apologize, but Sarang denies him, saying it is not his fault, and Gavin gets angry. He tells her not to come in front of him at all, but once again, they are together. They appear when Sarang comes on stage to give Gun a flower bouquet. Sarang was selected as the new head manager, but he has no idea how to go about the job. She thought him to be rude, and in reality, Gavin is the son of the owner of King Hotel. It is revealed that Sarang is the employee of the year of the hotel. He calls Sarang to his office. He asks her the reason for calling him rude, upon which Sarang tells him the incident of that time. She says that when she was working as an intern at the fitness center, she made the mistake of misunderstanding Gavin. Because Gavin also wore a tiger print shirt, after which Sarang apologized to him. She smiles, and Gun thinks her smile is fake, and she fires Sarang from the job, threatens to fire him. On the other side, we see Palin, who is on a flight, is working as an attendant, and she tries to lift a heavy suitcase when suddenly her co-worker comes to help her, and here we see Pauline being impressed by him. In the next scene, we see Sang Sarang arranging dinner at King Hotel in spite of working in this hotel for so many years. He still invites me to do it. I did not see the VIP launch of the hotel. Being a normal employee, I never came here, but Sarang did not come to give the welcome speech to Gun on becoming the head manager. Said Sarang gave a welcome speech with a cute smile, but Gavin was teasing him, says that he needs people with the same smile in King Hotel. Sarang's smile, and seeing his friendly nature, the chairman gave him the head of a tuna fish as a reward, which Palin was worth 700 million. When she returned home, she enjoyed tuna fish with Duel, which was more expensive than his annual salary. The next day, a guest from Sarang gets angry because Sarang did not upgrade her room, and Sarang tells her that it is against their hotel policy to make them pay extra for the room. It seems that in the middle of their argument, Gavin reached there and took the guest there. Security was called to take him out, and Sumi was asked to handle the matter. Gavin further called Sarang to his office and asked him to consider this matter as useless. On why she was increasing the price, Sarang said that she was just following the hotel's procedure, and that is what she had been taught. In the evening, Sarang planned to go on a date with her boyfriend, but after the boyfriend completely enthralled Sarah by inviting her high school friends there. Sarang got upset and went away from there. To calm herself down, she went to the same place. She came to the place where Gavin was already standing, but she was completely unaware of this. After a few days, Sarang and Gun went to Jeju Island to shoot the promotional video of their hotel. Before going for the shoot, Sarang Gun prepares the questions that will be asked to him. When she does so, her staff member tells her that the director's secretary had asked her some questions, has changed the questions, and gives new questions to Sarang to revise. Suddenly, she changes the questions. Because Sarang gets a little nervous, on the other hand, Haran humiliates Gun in front of everyone. Did this to do it, because she didn't want him to come into their business live. During the broadcast, Sarang, as the host, asks Gavin about his mom, is working as an attendant, and she tries to lift a heavy suitcase when suddenly her co-worker comes to help her, and here we see Pauline being impressed by him. In the next scene, we see Sang Sarang arranging dinner at King Hotel in spite of working in this hotel for so many years. He still invites me to do it. I did not see the VIP launch of the hotel. Being a normal employee, I never came here, but Sarang did not come to give the welcome speech to Gun on becoming the head manager. Said Sarang gave a welcome speech with a cute smile, but Gavin was teasing him. Says that he needs people with the same smile in King Hotel. Saran's smile, and seeing his friendly nature, the chairman gave him the head of a tuna fish as a reward which Palin was worth 700 million. When she returned home, she enjoyed tuna fish with Dual, which was more expensive than his annual salary. The next day, a guest from Sarang gets angry because Sarang did not upgrade her room, and Sarang tells her that it is against their hotel policy to make them pay extra for the room. It seems that in the middle of their argument, Gavin reached there and took the guest there. Security was called to take him out, and Sumi was asked to handle the matter. Gavin further called Sarang to his office and asked him to consider this matter as useless. On why she was increasing the price, Sarang said that she was just following the hotel's procedure, and that is what she had been taught. In the evening, Sarang planned to go on a date with her boyfriend, but after the boyfriend completely enthralled Sarah by inviting her high school friends there. Sarang got upset and went away from there. To calm herself down, she went to the same place. She came to the place where Gavin was already standing, but she was completely unaware of this. After a few days, Sarang and Gun went to Jeju Island to shoot the promotional video of their hotel. Before going for the shoot, Sarang Gun prepares the questions that will be asked to him. When she does so, her staff member tells her that the director's secretary had asked her some questions, has changed the questions, and gives new questions to Sarang to revise. Suddenly, she changes the questions. Because Sarang gets a little nervous, on the other hand, Haran humiliates Gun in front of everyone. Did this to do it, because she didn't want him to come into their business live. During the broadcast, Sarang as the host asks Gavin about his mom, because Haran told him to do so, although Kuvan doesn't even know about this. I wonder if his mom is alive or not, because Govan's mom had given him birth in his childhood. He is still struggling to remember his mother's face. Even today, he spends his life searching for information about his mother. After hearing this question, Gavin he got up from the live shoot and left from there. Meanwhile, Sarang handled the audience and talked to them. Haran felt Gavin's childhood stories about the King Hotel were touching, so that he may succeed in his purpose, but Gov goes back and answers all the questions of Sarang. While giving the invitation, Sarang was invited to enjoy the sunset view. In the evening, Gavin and Sarang. Meanwhile, there is an argument on this that what will happen if Gavin leaves the live show like this. He could have lost his job too. But then Sang comes there and tells him that the promotional event of their hotel was going on. The video is going viral on the internet and is being liked a lot. The next day, both of them did a photo shoot together, but Gavin refused to smile during the photo shoot, so the photographer thought of editing his photo for the final photo shoot. During this, Sang asked Gun and Sarang to stand in the boat and promote the hotel's fresh seafood. But when he was returning from there, the boat developed some technical problem. Because of this, the captain took them to a nearby island to escape the storm. When they reached the island, the captain suggested them to stay in the best villa. While going towards the villa, Gavin Sarang. He was following behind because he was scared of the darkness. Then Sarang told him about this. Gun here started walking ahead of Sarang with courage when he saw an old lady. He saw a woman standing there, and upon seeing her, he became dizzy and fell down right there. When Gavin opened his eyes, he found himself in a room. In that room, Gavin saw the same old lady saw the woman, and she was sharpening a knife. Gun saw her and ran outside, and Sarang went and fell near the old woman and told her that she was the daughter of that villa. The owner thought that Gavin and Sarang were a couple, but Sarang immediately denied it. He said that Gun is his boss. After this, Gun and Sarang both together made a drum. Sarang. When asked what his problem was with people laughing at him, Gua replied that he says that all the people give him a fake smile. That is why he hates people who laugh a lot. Sarang tells her that not all people like to laugh, but they need a job. Sometimes one has to do this because of some reason. Then Sarang's eyes fell on a paper windmill. Sarang was very happy to see her. Gun kept looking at her, and today, this smile of Sarang reminded him of her. It seemed that at night they went to their rooms to sleep, and the next day Sarang came to know. It turns out they were actually sleeping in the same room, with only a curtain between them, and the owner of this villa had fooled both of them, after which both of them rode a bicycle. But they explored the beauty of that island, and after that when they went back to the villa. So that old woman asked for a huge amount for the bill, but Sarang refused to pay that much money. When the old woman's son also came forward to ask for money, he refused, and the boat stopped. There was a captain of the boat, and both of them came to know here that due to breakdown of the boat and the loss of this villa, there was collusion between both of them in coming to me. Later, Govan was to give them that money. While coming back from there, Sarang apologized to Gavin for talking to him about his mom during the interview. After returning home, Gavin was asked by his dad about spoiling the promotional shoe of the hotel. He gets scolded for doing this, but Gavin doesn't pay much attention to what his dad says. Instead, he asked his dad to tell him the truth about his mom, which he had kept it hidden for a long time, but his dad ignored it, and now he only talked about the company and property. Asked to pay attention to security. On the other hand, we see that Sarang thought that Palin is dating someone because he asked Dal for help in giving a gift to someone, to which Pauline told him that she was just giving a gift to her junior row because he had helped her a lot. Next that day, because of the viral video, Gavin's dad praised Sarang a lot and gave him the title of king. On the other hand, we feel that Gavin is in love with Sarang. He has spent the whole day looking at her smiling photo in his office and even posted an online photo of her. He also did a psychological experiment so that he could find out what was going on in his heart. Recently in the evening, Gavin decided to tell his feelings to Sarang, but then Sarang sees her boyfriend Yum hugging her and is heartbroken, but she knows. It was not that Sarang and her boyfriend later had an argument, and Sarang decided to end their relationship. Sarang's boyfriend was constantly busy on the phone, due to which Sarang was angry with him, and she started to leave from there. In the meantime, Govan threw the gift which he had brought for Sarang on the ground. At that time, a policeman noticed him, and understanding Gawan's problem, he asked him to come to his house. She shared her own love story and advised Gavin to drive carefully, and asked him to follow traffic rules, after breaking up with her boyfriend. After that, Sarang comes to the village to meet her grandmother. Many customers in the restaurant recognize Sarang due to her beauty and kind nature. Seeing Sarang's sadness, they start laughing at her. Grandmother tells him that you are not a perfect match for him at all. The chairman feels that Haran is not able to handle King Hotel properly, and she is unable to do so. King asks both the kids to bring the hotel to the top, as he wants them to. The two work together, but Haran doesn't like working with Gavin at all. Min Seo, the manager of Kingland Hotel, told Sarang that the Kingland Hotel has the guest is the corporate commissioner of the financial industry G. He also showed him the paintings selected by the chairman. Min Seo believes that Sarang should not pay attention to what people say and should believe in his own abilities, after which Sarang Kingland wears the hotel's new uniform and welcomes manager Gavin as a new staff member. Introduces her to Sarang, although Gavin is still upset with Sarang, and Sok feels is that Gon doesn't have the courage to speak out his feelingless heart for Sarang. Hearing this, Guan immediately rejects her and tells Sang that Sarang is not his type. There is no girl, and he immediately throws her out of the room, after which Min Seo Saran introduces her to her senior, who just pretends to be friendly with her in front of Min Seo. Then we see that a staff of Kingdeolaendeu makes Hana Saran sign an agreement in which he was strictly forbidden from sharing any information about King Hotel with anyone. Meanwhile, Horan held a surprise inspection at the King Hotel. He started his career with a duty-free shop where Duel had to change the management of the store and his asks to double the revenue, after which Horan goes to visit King Heir, where but Palin works, because her team is the lowest in light-duty free sales. Colleen gets scolded by him, and promises Hyun that he will work hard to increase sales. After this, we see that Haran beats up a chef in the kitchen just for his clothes, fired from the job due to his tainted personality. On the other hand, Hyun tells Sung-gun that she is working very hard to increase her sales, and for this, she has also fired many staff members. Gavin has been fired from his job, and he is afraid that Horan's next target might be Sarang. For this, Gavin arranged a meeting with the entire staff of Kingland Hotel, where he learns from Minseo that the incentives they receive are very low. For this, he suggests setting their incentives according to their hard work. During the meeting, Gavin was looking at Sarang, but Sarang had no idea about this. After the meeting, Gavin messages Sarang, but she doesn't reply to his message. She doesn't give it, so Gavin calls Sarang, but Sarang rejects his call. Since Gu's number was not saved in Sarang's phone, Pauline tells him that her team has been asked to double the revenue, on which Sarang advises her that he should take Duel's help for this, as she has been a good team leader, and she has. Sales have also increased a lot. Duel is married and has a lovely daughter. Sarang and Pauline are unaware of the fact that Duel is being brought up in his in-laws' house. He is facing lots of problems. Even his hard work is not getting fulfilled at home. I don't respect anyone, but his daughter always stands by him. She respects her mom. Meanwhile, we see that Duel calls Chun to come home quickly. She says so, but Chun tells her that he has to work overtime, and she should not wait for him. The next day, Gavin asks Saran why she didn't reply to his messages, or even pick up his phone. Saran finds out that the number was Gun's. He told her that he did not have her number saved, and so she couldn't pick up the phone. Guan gave her his card and invited her to dinner. He then asked Gun Sung to call a Japanese. He asks her to arrange dinner for them at a restaurant. On the other hand, when Pauline is working, then a pilot named Ji comes there and tries to flirt with her. Pauline tries to ignore him, but then Rowan comes there and seeing her Gu leaves, and Rowan notices that Pauline is very disturbed by this. So, to make her feel relaxed, he invites her for dinner. After their flight lands, they both spend some time together. They have dinner and Rove confesses his feelings to Palin, but she tells him I hope he should think again because it is just an ordinary flight. He is an attendant and he has not got promotion for a long time. Meanwhile, we see that Gavin, he has come for dinner with Sarang, but is surprised to see the king and his staff there. Gaia was very angry with Sang, and Sarang was feeling very uncomfortable among them all. Bal was feeling jealous because Gavin was giving her special attention. He later tells Gavin that she doesn't need his extra attention and that he shouldn't try to be too kind to her as it might burden her. When Sarang returned home, Pauline and Dial gave her a birthday surprise. People had come to know that Sarah had broken up, and they were telling her this. They support her, that she has taken the right decision, and both of them make her feel relaxed. He makes her dance and asks her to dance. After this, all three of them enjoy the birthday party together. Meanwhile, Gua. When he saw that Horan was holding his pocket watch in his hand, he became angry with him. Yes, this watch was given to him by his mom, and here he remembered an incident from his childhood when Heron threw the coach out of the window due to which its glass broke. This means that Heron did not like Gavin since childhood. Next day, we let us see that a staff member named Co instructs Sarang that he did not speak much in front of the guests and remained quiet. Han Ne Sarang, owner of First Royal Hotel. I recognized him from the promotional video of Kingland Hotel, and he served Saran in the main course. Sarang asks him to suggest the best wine, and he explained about him in detail. After listening to him, both the chairman and Han He is very impressed, and then Han offers Saran a job in his hotel with double the salary, but he refused, and later the CO scolded Sarang a lot for doing so. She seemed to flatter the guests. She went to meet Yoon Sarang in the evening. He comes with a flower bouquet to wish her on her birthday and takes their relationship to another level. He wants to give her a chance, but Sarang asks him to end the relationship, and after breaking up, she leaves from there crying and then stands in a park where it was raining. Gavin comes from behind with an umbrella, and as soon as she turns back and realizes that Gavin is standing behind her. Gun tells her that this is his favorite place. By this he meant that whenever he felt sad, he would go there too. On hearing this, Sarang starts leaving from there, but her foot slips, and she falls down. She was about to fall, but Gun holds her and tells her to stay there. Later, Gavin goes to drop her home. On the way, Sarang falls asleep, and Gavin notices that her clothes are wet. In the next scene, we see that Gahan gives her clothes to change, and gives her clothes to wash and dry her clothes. Sarang invites her to a restaurant for dinner. As a birthday celebration, was surprised to see that Gahan was wearing the same clothes as him, due to which the staff member mistook them for a couple, because they looked so cute together. Here we come to know that Govan had deliberately got matching clothes for them. He also ordered a lot of dishes for Sarang, as he did not know what she liked. Then Govan asked Sarang to eat a dish, asked her about her likes and dislikes, and even took her photo from the reception. After this, B comes to drop her home, and also gives her a cake. Then there Yum arrives, who was not ready to accept their breakup, and attacks. Sarang accused of fraud, which made her angry, and she called the police, snatched the phone from Sarang, but she made him talk to her, and took her phone and went from there. When Gayum goes after her, Guan saves her by grabbing her hand and turning her around and threatened him, due to which he got scared, and ran away from there after this Gun celebrated Sarang's birthday. And when Sarang did not respond, Gavin called him and said that if Unam ever bothered her again, she should tell him immediately. She had always told him. The next day, Palin and Duel bought a car from Sarang at such an expensive price. When asked about the gift, they say that Gavin has a romantic feeling for Sarang. When both of them start looking at his gifts, Sarang picks them up and takes them to his room. The next day, Gun attended a meeting with Horan and the other members, and from there he returned to his office and told Sang that he would organize the event every day. Just then, Sang sees the photo of Guan and Sarang's dinner and teases her while leaving from there. Gavin texts Sarang asking if he has any plans after work. There is time, but Sarang does not give him any answer. Gavin goes to meet Sarang, but Sarang sees him. She tells that she is not allowed to use phone during work, but she allows Gun to do so. She agrees to meet him after work, and at night she meets Sarang Guan and tells him to make his birthday special. She gives him a gift, after which both of them go to a restaurant for dinner. The restaurant was Sarang's favorite, and he had to wait a little to have dinner here, because this was all new for Gun. At first he complains about this restaurant, but later he changes his mind and tries a special beer for it. After that, he also tried delicious food, and they enjoyed their evening dinner. Next in the scene, we see that Haran is shocked to hear her husband Yoon's words, as he is asking for a divorce from her. Was talking to her husband, says she is in love with someone else, so she is leaving. Horan wants to leave, but Horan doesn't care that Yoon is with another girl. To get married, Haran tells him that he needs a divorce from Horan first, that when she becomes the heir to the king's land, she will divorce him. We see that the chairman already knows about Yoon's affairs and gives advice to Haran that she should control her husband as he is reporting on the affair to the media. Meanwhile, Duel and his team are not going to spend much money to stop this from happening. Has to deal with a troublesome colleague named Sling, whereas Sarang has to deal with. He got an order to participate in Farmers' Week event, where he was taken out of the city for none. She had to visit the farmer's house. When Sarang reached there, the farmer's wife told him that her husband works for Royal Hotel, and she took Sarang from there. He was asked to leave, but Sarang refused and said that he had gone to search for Farmer Kim. He decided to go to the mountain, and for this he wore suitable clothes and went towards the mountain. He did not find the key even after 2 hours. After that, it suddenly started raining there, and Sarang went and stood at one place to avoid the rain. At the same time, Gavin saw Sarang. I called, but Sarang was busy looking at a ginseng plant there, and she did not pick up the phone. Then suddenly her foot slipped, and she fell down. As soon as she opened her eyes, she found out that she was down in a pit and was surprised to be alive. Sarang started crying out of fear. On the other hand, Gavin was trying to find out about Sarang. Sang sent his team to search for Sarang, but Sang told Gavin that due to bad weather, because of that his team is unable to rescue him. On hearing this, Gavin sends his. He decides to rescue Sarang by taking the company's helicopter, but for this, he needs Heron's help. Permission was needed. Gavin goes to Heron's meeting and asks him for permission for this, but Haran refused him, and on hearing this, Gavin left from there. Gavin took his consent. Here, the hungry, thirsty, and scared Sarang decided to take the helicopter without. When he looked up, he saw a light, and then he saw that Gavin had come to rescue him. So she got scared after seeing him, but later when she saw Gavin in front of her, she hugged him. Sarang is relieved to see him there. Here Gavin learns that he is without any. In a hurry to prepare, he jumped down and now he is stuck there with her. Here when Kim came to know about Sarang from his wife, he went to inquire about him. Kim comes to the mountain and rescues them both and brings them to his home. While eating, he told them that he was only doing business with the Royal Hotel. He asks Sarang to go back from there. Next morning, Sarang shows him a plant. Seeing the ginseng plant which he had found on the mountain, Kim told him that it was very beautiful. It is a rare plant which not everyone can get. Kim refused to take it. It is said that the one who has got it has the right over it. Sarang gave that plant to his grandmother. Kim even offered Sarang to work with him, but Gwan refused. He was asked to refuse immediately. Later, Kim, seeing Sarang's hard work, signed a contract with King Hotel. Decided to collaborate, he advised Gavin to train his employees. Well, treat them and do not make them do such dangerous tasks. In the meantime, keep them there. But he comes to pick her up and teases Sangwan after he gets in the car. Because of this, Gavin leaves her there at a restaurant and decides to go ahead alone. Then we see an argument between two customers on the flight, whom Pauline tells to keep quiet. But meanwhile, one of his shoes is left there, and then we see that Rowan gives him his shoe back. On the other hand, Gavin goes with Sarang to meet her grandmother when they reach grandmother's, Sarang tells Gavin to go to his house, while Sarang helped her grandmother with her work, although Gavin avoided watching her from the window. Sarang's grandmother could not control herself and caught him looking at Gavin and gave him onions. It was not easy for Gavin. After that, he was given herbal tea. Sarang told his grandmother that Gavin was his boss, but he didn't reveal his real identity. That he is the owner of Kingdeolaendeu Hotel, and it's later, Sarang took her to the local village market, where she tasted street food for the first time. He tasted the street food and liked it very much. After that, both of them bought a big goldfish. Gets trapped in a lottery game to win candy, but here we see that Sarang, while saving the fish, it fell down and broke. Gavin was sad to see this, but he felt relieved. It was found that Sarang was safe and sound. After this, when they returned, they had lunch together with Sarang before leaving from there. Grandmother thanks Gavin for helping Sarang and gives him some money. He also gave vegetables and fish to take home. Gavin also thanked him for all this. He thanked them, and both of them left from there. Here we see Sarang's grandmother praises the flowers given by Gavin and calls him a good person. When Gavin went to Sarang's house, Sarang promised to feed him a meal and to save him, and he also thanked her for helping her grandmother. Here we see that when Gavin asked Sarang out for dating, she didn't even refuse. He offered the food to his dad and asked him to taste it. The chairman liked the food, and he praised him, and after that, when the chairman asked about the helicopter, Gavin said, "Saeed, he used it to save a staff here. He used it to save his dad." He was again asked a question about his mother, which he found difficult to answer. The chairman praised Gavin here that he does not shy away from taking tough decisions, no matter what. Why should he not suffer a financial loss for this? After which he made such a tasty dish, I thanked Gavin for the meal, and while leaving, I asked him to eat with me next time. He said that the next day, Duel needs to work late because of an urgent sales report, so he calls Chun to inquire about his whereabouts. She asks him to pick up her daughter, but he says that he is out for a meeting, but we see that he is here. I was lying. On the other hand, the younger daughter of the chairman of the Royal Hotel, Yori, told Kingdeolaendeu. The hotel was hosting a birthday party and had hired a special launch for the occasion. It is a rare plant which not everyone can get. Kim refused to take it. It is said that the one who has got it has the right over it. Sarang gave that plant to his grandmother. Kim even offered Sarang to work with him, but Gwan refused. He was asked to refuse immediately. Later, Kim, seeing Sarang's hard work, signed a contract with King Hotel. Decided to collaborate, he advised Gavin to train his employees. Well, treat them and do not make them do such dangerous tasks. In the meantime, keep them there. But he comes to pick her up and teases Sangwan after he gets in the car. Because of this, Gavin leaves her there at a restaurant and decides to go ahead alone. Then we see an argument between two customers on the flight, whom Pauline tells to keep quiet. But meanwhile, one of his shoes is left there, and then we see that Rowan gives him his shoe back. On the other hand, Gavin goes with Sarang to meet her grandmother when they reach grandmother's, Sarang tells Gavin to go to his house, while Sarang helped her grandmother with her work, although Gavin avoided watching her from the window. Sarang's grandmother could not control herself and caught him looking at Gavin and gave him onions. It was not easy for Gavin. After that, he was given herbal tea. Sarang told his grandmother that Gavin was his boss, but he didn't reveal his real identity. That he is the owner of Kingdeolaendeu Hotel, and it's later, Sarang took her to the local village market where she tasted street food for the first time. He tasted the street food and liked it very much. After that, both of them bought a big goldfish. Gets trapped in a lottery game to win candy, but here we see that Sarang, while saving the fish, it fell down and broke. Gavin was sad to see this, but he felt relieved. It was found that Sarang was safe and sound. After this, when they returned, they had lunch together with Sarang before leaving from there. Grandmother thanks Gavin for helping Sarang and gives him some money. He also gave vegetables and fish to take home. Gavin also thanked him for all this. He thanked them, and both of them left from there. Here we see Sarang's grandmother praises the flowers given by Gavin and calls him a good person. When Gavin went to Sarang's house, Sarang promised to feed him a meal and to save him, and he also thanked her for helping her grandmother. Here we see that when Gavin asked Sarang out for dating, she didn't even refuse. He offered the food to his dad and asked him to taste it. The chairman liked the food, and he praised him, and after that, when the chairman asked about the helicopter, Gavin said, "Saeed, he used it to save a staff here. He used it to save his dad." He was again asked a question about his mother, which he found difficult to answer. The chairman praised Gavin here that he does not shy away from taking tough decisions, no matter what. Why should he not suffer a financial loss for this? After which he made such a tasty dish, I thanked Gavin for the meal, and while leaving, I asked him to eat with me next time. He said that the next day, Duel needs to work late because of an urgent sales report, so he calls Chun to inquire about his whereabouts. She asks him to pick up her daughter, but he says that he is out for a meeting, but we see that he is here. I was lying. On the other hand, the younger daughter of the chairman of the Royal Hotel, Yori, told Kingland. The hotel was hosting a birthday party and had hired a special launch for the occasion. When Gavin arrived at the party, Yori hugged him and he behaved like this. Seeing this, Sarang felt jealous and thought that these two already knew each other. Because Gavin gave her a gift that she already wanted, and Sarang had also heard from someone about their arranged marriage. The truth was that Gwan considered Yori as a younger sister and advised her to marry someone like that. After the party, we see that Sarang, who is sad, is with his. She is enjoying the company of her friends to invite trouble. Then Gavin arrives at Sarang's house, and Duel and Pauline are also shocked to see him. Gavin realizes that Sarang often talks about him. It was not known that Gavin had romantic feelings for Sarang. Sarang told Gavin Sarang apologizes to her for initially misunderstanding her about the reason for coming to her house. When asked, Gavin told him that Sarang's face was completely pale at the birthday party. He was worried about him because he had fallen ill. Sarang told him that after seeing Yori, she was upset, thinking that she was Gavin's girlfriend. Gavin heard this. felt that there was a feelingless feeling in Saran's heart for him. He will not hug anyone else after this. Both of them go for a walk, asks for a date. On the other hand, Horan does a press conference to promote the King Hotel. She plans to hold a conference. She sends Saran out. The script gave Horan credit for rescuing her. Rather than Gavin, Sarang questions him on this, but Heron insists that he had given Gavin the permission to use the company helicopter. Horan was thanked during the press conference for giving permission for this. Sarang said in the conference that when his team lost due to bad weather, she believed that then Gavin came to save her, and she thanked Gavin. She believed that Gavin had saved his life as an angel. Hearing so much praise for Gavin here, Horan thinks this is all a publicity stunt on his part, after which Horan confronts Gavin, comes to meet him in his room. He stressed that the owner of a company should not do anything like this. One should not pay attention to the irresponsible acts of the company and should focus on the profit of his company. Only then the chairman comes there. And after seeing the press conference go viral, he praises Horan because he thinks it will bring publicity to his hotel. The name can be put forward. The chairman talked about making Kingdeolaendeu Hotel #1 in the country. He stressed that Saudi Arabian Prince Sami was coming to his rival royal hotel. On the other hand, we see that Sarang is assigned the task of cleaning the VIP launch single-handedly by his seniors. Sarang was doing all this work alone, then Gavin comes there and starts helping her. That day, Prince Samir decided to stay at the King Hotel, signing an agreement with Gavin, which the chairman had to agree to. We were very happy with the decision, as it meant that King Hotel was still considered #1 in the country will go, because the world's richest prince chose to live there. Apart from this, the chairman chose Saran to welcome Prince Samir at King's Hotel. The decision to choose the hotel surprised the chairman and Horan, who had initially tried to persuade the prince. The ability was questioned. In fact, both Gavin and Prince Samir are from school. We used to study together, but they both did not get along, and today Prince Samir is studying under this condition. But Mana Van believed everything she said and went to the airport to pick up Prince Samir. And Sarang welcomed her by giving her a bouquet of flowers and a traditional Korean bracelet. Seeing this, he is very happy. Prince Samir insists that Sarangi should make him wear this bracelet, but Gavin takes the bracelet from him. He wears it himself. The next day, Gavin goes to Sarang's room to invite him for breakfast and finds Sumi there. But seeing this, Sarang pulls Gavin inside the room, and Gavin makes Sarang hide in the room. He says and opens the door. He tells Sumi not to disturb him. Because he had to rest till 3 p.m., Prince Amir gave a gift of sarong to Sumi. She gave him a dress to wear at the party, which was being hosted by Samir. Meanwhile, Sang also wore the dress given by Prince. The clothes that Gavin has to wear at the party are placed in front of her. We see Sarang arriving at the party. The prince kept looking at her, who was looking very beautiful in the white gown given by him. Then we see Gavin coming there wearing a waiter's dress, and this was the same dress, which was sent for her by Prince Samir, and she had no other option but to wear it. Prince Samir proposes sarong after seeing a ring here. Gon gives it to her. She took the ring from his hand, and an argument started between them. Sarong rejected Samir's proposal. She refused to accept it, and explained to him that Samir was better than her. Deserves that his rejection did not hurt him much, because Sarong had explained it to him very gracefully. After which Sarong gave both Gavin and Prince Samir invited for lunch, as today was Prince Samir's last day at King's Hotel. So they sat together and enjoyed lunch and recalled their school-time memories. When Prince was leaving, Sarang he gifted her a photo frame and took a promise from her that if she goes to Korea, if I ever come back, I will come to their hotel only. Prince hugs Gavin and says, even though they both used to argue, they have still become friends now. On the other side, we see Palin suddenly falling from a turbulator into the plane, which, because of this, she hurt her back. Rowan helped her, dropped her off at home, and gave her a ride. Asks him to take care of himself. Sarang applies medicine on his injury and gives him rest at work. Here Pauline tells him that she wants to stay with her company. It is not able to increase the sales of its products, and due to this, It has been facing problems for the last several years. The promotion was also stopped, and after this, we three friends went to a public house. Let's see here some beauty products from these three King Air products sells to middle-aged ladies. Meanwhile, we see Sang informing Guan that he was unable to retrieve the information of the person whose information he had asked for at the hotel. After this, we see a news about the hotel's anniversary celebration. The meeting is going on, and Gavin speaks about organizing the event here. Horan doubted Gavin's ability to be chairman, as there was a big event. Accepting Gavin's decision, he hands over the responsibility of the event to him, after which Gavin. The public goes to meet Sarang because they had to discuss some important matter with him. All of them gather there, enjoy boiled eggs. Gon discovers this while marketing his product, that their marketing method is illegal. As soon as Saran came to know about this, she is upset with him and believes that she cannot support him in doing illegal things. In the evening, both Gavin and Sarang go for dinner. There Sarang comes to know that she is the only customer in the restaurant, and Gavin has given the whole restaurant to her. Gavin has booked her, and cooks food for her with his own hands, and serves it to her. Sarang gets impressed by his skill while Gavin is cooking. Meanwhile, a pan catches fire, and Sarang panics and drops her glass. Gavin saved Sarang, and immediately picked him up from there and made him sit on a table. Here we see a cute moment of both of them. After this, Sarang asked Gon about his promise to cook myself on the next date. Meanwhile, Duel and his team have started selling their products together. The target was achieved, due to which they looked very happy, and they got a bonus. Vacation trip also given. The next day, Sang tells Guan about an old man who said he bought their hotel. Gon thought he could get all the information he could from the man who has served for 30 years. Now Gavin and Sarang were officially together, and the growing closeness between them. This aroused suspicion among the staff, who thought that Govan was keeping an eye on them as well. As soon as Sarang came to know about this, he scolded Gavan and asked him to leave from there. After this, we see a foreign customer named Daniel, who is from Siho for foreigners, asks about a suitable restaurant for him, but Siho had earlier turned him down. But Sarang passed him a diary, which had all his information. Yal called Siho and Sarang for their help. He said thank you, and praised their teamwork. Meanwhile, Gavin had a meeting with the chairman and Haran, held a meeting and showed interest in managing the hotel. Haran opposed it, but the chairman here told him that if he wanted to attend the anniversary event of King's Hotel, if he organizes it properly, then he will think about it. Here we see that Haran has taken all these measures to stop Gavin's efforts. Secretly, she had a meeting with director Joy, who was determined to make her the King's Sarang will not let the hotel be occupied in the evening, with a bouquet of Gavin flowers went to meet grandmother at her restaurant. However, her sudden arrival shocked Sarang. Grandmother was startled, who was standing on a chair trying to fix a light while balancing herself, and was about to fall down after seeing him. But Gon caught him in time and saved him from serious injury. Sarang's grandmother was taken to the hospital, where his grandmother realized that Govan likes Sarang, and after a while Sarang goes to the hospital to visit his grandmother. She comes and gets worried seeing them there. She says she is absolutely fine. And he doesn't have to worry about Gavin and Sarang cleaning up after him. Back at the restaurant, Gavin accidentally turns off the light switch. Later, she confesses her love to Sarang, and we get to see their cute moment here as they go out for a walk at night. They sleep there. Next day, when Sarang's grandmother comes in the morning, she gets confused after seeing them together. She goes and even slaps Gavin for this. Sarang tells her that realizing that they have done nothing wrong, her grandmother asks Sarang to work at the restaurant, and she gives Gon a job. She brings Gon with her, and then she takes him to her friends, where one of her friends praises her son-in-law a lot and says that he is very. But here Gavin says that he doesn't even have his own house to live in. Grandmother takes Gavin to the bank and gives him his Ace savings account has been opened so that he can save money for his house. For Sarang, Gavin is very surprised to see the love of the grandmother. After this, we see that after having dinner with Sarang, Gavin, he starts to go home, But on the way, he bumps into Dal and Pauline, who tell him, invited for a drink to relax. Pauline and Duel were in a very bad mood because they had worked so hard for the king's hotel. Even after doing this, till date, he neither got promotion nor like other staff. Neither did he get any reward, nor does he offer to help him in this regard. The next day, we see Sarang Polin and Dul, and the rest of the team leaving for Guan, Thailand. He arranges the trip, and Song also comes with them. They go to Thailand. They enjoy the trip by eating and drinking. Meanwhile, we see Gun and Sarang near the pool. Gon and Sarang are seen spending romantic time at a restaurant, where he tells her that his mother left him when he was a child, and that Gavin still remembers this. He tried to comfort Gavin by telling him that he couldn't understand why his mom left him. Sarang hugged her from behind, while enjoying the beautiful view of the city in the evening. He spent quality time together by buying a business-class plane ticket. He surprised everyone, and they came to Korea to meet Nick. After coming back from there, Min Seo arranged a meeting where he discussed the hotel's anniversary celebration. On the other hand, Gavin planned to give gifts to all the staff on the hotel's celebration. Pauline discussed this here, inviting politicians and important government figures to important events. One person refused to invite him to this function, he said, that they should call such people who have contributed in making the hotel the best. Meanwhile, Gavin went to the hotel's kitchen and tasted the food which was prepared for the celebration. The day was about to be ready. She asked the chef there to add a traditional Korean dish to the menu. He also asked me to make a digestible dish for the taste of the elderly. On the other hand, Guan meets the hotel's oldest staff member, Bang Sik, who is also the son of King Hotel's Gavon, has been working as a doorkeeper for 30 years. He takes Sarang for a walk, where Sarang asks him if he was asking Bang Sik about his mom, to which he replies that he is asked about his mom. The next day, Sarang's grandmother comes home where Gavin Singh is found. He was repairing something, and due to some misunderstanding, he hit Gavin hard on his back. Dia Sarang invited Gauri to her home for dinner, and they had a romantic dinner. After dinner, the couple and other guests were shocked to see them close to each other. Let's go here, and he confessed that they both were dating each other, and he, revealing his true identity, he said that he is the son of the company's owner. They all start behaving more politely with him and tell him all their past stories. The chairman apologized for his actions and asked the Gov to end his relationship with Saran spoke for, because Gavin and Yori were about to have a business marriage, which would lead to the hotel could have made a profit. However, Gavin refused to marry her. He calls Saran, but she doesn't pick up, so Gon goes to her house to see her. But the neighbors become suspicious and assume Gavin to be a stalker. Gavin called the police and told them about his love story. Later, the chairman called Saran and asked him to move away from King Hotel to King Resort, who was out of the city to keep Sarah away from Gavin. Before they broke up, Gavin had invited Saran to visit the theme park. He had turned the whole theme park into I had bought it for the day, and the two of them were in the park enjoying the rides. Had a lot of fun, and next day Sarang reached King Resort Hotel, where she meets her senior Bo Yeon after 3 weeks when Guan returns to Korea. When he comes, he goes to meet Sarang, and then he comes to know that Sarang has been kidnapped by the king. He is transferred to the resort and meets his mother, Miso, who tells him after this Miso also meets the chairman, and he tells her she refuses to pressure Gavin and says she came there on purpose, because he finds out that the chairman has taken Gavin's girlfriend away from him. Later, Masok apologizes to her because she abandoned him when he was a child, and Guan tells her says he never hated his mom. Sarang finds out that Kingland hotels are going through a crisis because many of their customers have gone away, so their staff are having to find new jobs. But Sarang tells them that they will work together for the hotel. The next day, they go to Gavin King Resort. Hotel Gavin arrives and tells him that he met his mom. Sarang is shocked to hear this. Feeling relieved, Rowan confessed his feelings to Pauline, and she too reciprocated. Meanwhile, Gavin and Sarang are enjoying their date at the hotel. After taking a stroll in the forest near Sarang King Hotel, he resumed his work. Gavin is made the CEO of the King Hotel. On the other hand, Chairman Guan accepts Sarang's relationship, and in the evening, Horan. After having an argument with her husband, Saram tells Gavin that she wants to break up with him, and she wants to leave King Hotel to fulfill her dream. Hearing this, Gavin's eyes fill with tears, but he supports her and accepts her decision. He respects her and tells her that if she needs anything, he can always be there for her. He will stay with her. Next day, Saran tells the chairman about her resignation. She says that without the permission of the chairman, she will not be able to take her relationship forward. On hearing this, the chairman started laughing and apologized to Saran for this. We see that in the staff. Everyone happily meets Sarang. Gavin also gives her a bouquet of flowers and confirms their relationship. He asks him to continue and also gifts him a pair of shoes. Sarang hires Sak as his executive manager while buying a property. He started a new hotel, which he named Hotel Amour, where his love started. We see Govan come to her hotel to surprise her, who Sarang is very happy to see this, and she tells Gavan the concept of the name of her hotel. Explained that he got the idea while making a promotional video. Meanwhile, Rowan, who takes Pauline to meet her mother, where he brings her to her mother's grave, which she is sad to see that she introduces Rowan's mom to him and says that she is his. He has a girlfriend and promised her that he will always be with her. He fucked her mother. After this, Sarang interviewed some candidates for part-time job in his hotel, but no one was hired. Did not fit his qualifications, so Gov applied there so that he could Gavin propose to her so that he could spend time with her. Seeing this, Sarang was very happy. She was happy and accepted his proposal. On hearing about Sarang's marriage, her grandmother, she starts crying. We see that Gavin's dad comes to give them his blessings at the wedding. There they finally appear as an